Alright, YouTube, what's good? We back again once again on the channel for y'all, baby. And today we got a video released kind of recently, how Black Clover's potential was thrown away. I feel like they're gonna talk about how the anime kind of was holding it down for the Black Clover community and all that. But to be honest, I just want to see what Guy's going to say in these 9 minutes of this topic. Let's just see what he got to say, because I want to see what the broader idea of like the fandom think of Black Clover. I feel like a lot of people just dropped it, want to see anime, and I feel like a lot of people don't watch the anime, so it's kind of a shame, you know. But let's get into it.
Black Clover was at the top of the anime world.
Oh, hold on, I got it at 2 times speed. I normally watch it stuff at 2 times. Look at that.
Between 2020 and 2022, almost everyone was invested in Asta's story.
No, they were not. They thought that show was ass. They were treating it like 7 Deadly Sins because the animation wasn't up to par. You know what I'm saying? And I feel that's a problem with a lot of these newer animes. They're super animated and all that. So like the older shit, you can't really respect it, and it can't really look good because, you know, you got all this. Look at One Piece. Look at Demon Slayer. You know what I'm saying? So all these older animes who weren't in that era of animation, it's like, bro.
The boy without magic had just achieved his victory over Dante in the anime and was gaining his newly found Devil Union in the manga. So why is it that today, 3 years later, anything Black Clover related seems to go completely under the radar? The answer, for anyone who's kept up with the series, should seem fairly obvious. But what if I told you the downfall had been brewing for years before the eventual climax? Well, there is only one question we can ask. Was Black Clover's potential thrown away?
Probably. A lot of the
Before
the
we
manga
start, let's
anime
establish a
gone.
quick timeline of important events. Black Clover has its first chapter published in Weekly Shonen Jump on February 16th in 2015 by author and artist Yuki Tabata. It then continues publishing chapters in Weekly Shonen Jump to decent levels of success. Then, on October 3rd in the year 2017, the first episode of the anime, animated by Studio Pierrot, premiered for the world to watch. This led to Black Clover's popularity skyrocketing, resulting in higher volume sales per week and higher peaks of interest surrounding Tabata's work. This influx of sales continued on for several volume releases up until a very important point. Eventually, most likely wanting to fully capitalize on the success of the series, the anime adaptation catches up to the manga, leaving Studio Pierrot with no other choice but to halt production on the series until more chapters had been released. With the anime now halted temporarily, manga sales start to decline
They could have got going.
week by week, finally leading to Black Clover being moved over to Jump Giga in the year 2023, when author Yuki Tabata expressed that the weekly schedule was interfering with some personal issues he had going on in his life. Since the move to Jump Giga, the manga has now seen quarterly releases of longer manga chapters as opposed to its previous weekly release schedule in Weekly Shonen Jump. This all leads to today, July 2025. The month where the highly anticipated return of the Black Clover anime was just announced. This, of course, circles back to our original question, which I highlighted at the start of the video. Why is it that the anime being announced to return doesn't feel as big as it should feel?
Well, they didn't really. The trailer was really just Asa sitting there in his Devil Union, so I mean, it wasn't that much to really look at.
After listening to the timeline of events, the answer seems obvious. Black Clover being moved to Jump Giga reduced the number of eyeballs on it significantly. In a time of attention spans and audience
I feel like that stuff don't really matter to like the general public. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas don't really give a fuck if it's on whatever. If it's good, it's good. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we're gonna watch it. They don't give a fuck. Like, how do you think Solo got so big? Was it on Manhwa? Niggas don't know what the fuck that is, but niggas saw it and they liked it, and here it is today. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas don't care what platform it's on, how you get it, where it's at. You know what I'm saying? They'll do it just to see if it's good. I bet if One Piece moved over to that, niggas would still look at it and still would watch it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really change much.
Attention being at an all-time low, Black Clover not being pushed weekly anymore led to more people forgetting it was even still being published. Well,
True.
I don't believe that this is the correct answer. While it does play a role for sure, it's not the primary reason Black Clover has seen its unfortunate decline. With the weekly series, there is a clear expectation. That series will release every week on a given day. meaning that every week there will be new developments in the story with new things for fans to talk and theorize over. It keeps things fresh and new within the community, which is built around that weekly story. Think of it like this. What is the biggest complaint you always hear about One Piece? It's way too long and the pacing is horrible. However, what if I told you that that was One Piece's biggest strength? The manga is constantly evolving week by week, without letting things spiral out of control at a rapid rate. Oda can keep fans hooked.
I feel like, okay, what I gathered from like the general community of anime fans is they don't read manga. They will not read manga. They will not go out and buy it. They will not do that shit. They will wait until the anime gets animated. They will not read manga. I swear to God, I've seen niggas sit there and be like, I don't want to read manga because I don't want to read it. But you read the subtitles, my nigga. Seriously? I don't know. Like, I feel like it's not that, like, I don't know. I feel like an anime being out makes it way more, like, viewed. You know what I'm saying? But, like, One Piece, for example, I hate how that show is structured because, like, half a chapter is an episode. And that's why there's so many episodes. Realistically, there wouldn't be that many if they didn't stretch out the fucking episodes that long. Look at Fishman Island, for example. I think that shit was chopped down to, like, 12 episodes or 24 episodes, something like that. And how long was that arc? At least 100, I think. And that's the crazy part, you know what I'm saying? Imagine Wano. Wano probably could be like 50 episodes. Maybe. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 100. Not. I think that show was like 200, my nigga. Because I was looking for a scene to screenshot it. And my nigga, it was like it happened 115 through 170. I'm like, bro, what? But anyway, let's get back to it.
And talking every week. But the most important part of One Piece's success? The anime's pacing. When there's a large series like Black Clover, it will have two types of fans. The dedicated hardcore fans, who read every manga chapter as it comes out, and watches every episode of the anime when it is being released weekly. The other type of fan is the casual fan. Someone who's a fan of the Black Clover anime, and watches when they notice more episodes have come out. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being either. However, one does unfortunately matter more to the overall success of a series. And this reason is exactly why One Piece is such a juggernaut. The pacing of the series has never allowed it to be within arm's length of the manga's current events. This has allowed the anime to run weekly for nearly 25 plus years, only taking...
My thing with this is like, I feel like One Piece is one of those shows where you could make filler, and it is good. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they could do that. Obviously, I feel like people don't like filler just because it's not, like, the story's not progressing with this arc. But I still feel like One Piece, out of any anime, could legit make good filler. New island, new villain. You know what I'm saying? Look at the movies. Half the movies aren't canon, and people still like them. You know what I'm saying? So, look how many people watch Film Red. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like they don't need to do all that. You know what I'm saying? It bothers me that it's structured like that, and that's why I don't sit down and watch it. I know what's happening, but I'm not gonna watch it. You know what I'm saying?
taking small breaks for outside reasons. For a casual audience,
Whoa.
there was never a time when One Piece wasn't being shown somewhere. So, what does this have to do with Black Clover? Well, we know that Black Clover's popularity skyrocketed when the anime first started being made. That fact is backed up by the influx of manga sales. And we also know that Black Clover's influence declined drastically after the anime had been put on hiatus. So, the reason for Black Clover's ultimate decline? Was it the move to Jump Giga? Was it simply because fans grew tired of how the series was playing out? No. While the move to Jump Giga was a very drastic change that did affect the series, and while some people may just have disagreed with the story's progression, ultimately it comes down to just one thing: the loss and abandonment of the casual viewer. Remember how I mentioned One Piece's success is all up to the anime's pacing? Well, the opposite can be said for Black Clover. Seeing the utter success of the anime, Purio jumped the gun, running through 170 episodes of the show at a rapid pace. And yes, while this was happening, Black Clover was indeed seeing high levels of success, but it was a short-term gain for a long-term loss. Eventually, the Black Clover anime catches up to the manga, and the anime must be halted, abandoning the casual audience and leaving the manga with only the hardcore fans to carry most of the weight of discussion and press. So finally, to answer the question that this entire video was made for, was Black Clover's potential squandered? Yes, I believe it was. When compared to one of its competitors during the time My Hero Academia, the difference is unparalleled. My Hero Academia released its anime through a seasonal format, meaning that there would be month breaks in between seasons to allow Studio Bones to produce the best product that they possibly could. So you might be asking yourself right now, but Vanny, weren't you just saying a weekly series is the best way to keep people staying for longer periods of time? Yeah, I did say that. However, the My Hero anime was never released on a weekly schedule to begin with. It began as a seasonal anime. This means an expectation was set from the very beginning of the series. The anime will release seasonally to ensure quality and time for the manga to produce the story for Bones to then adapt. With a series like One Piece, the pacing is constructed in a way to ensure it can constantly run alongside the manga, so it never has to halt for extended periods of time and lose long-term interest. To truly put this into perspective, My Hero Academia's longest break was 13 months between seasons 2 and 3. At that point, the series had already garnered massive success from the previous 2 seasons. Due to season 1's massive success, the studio delivered its shortest ever break window of 7 months, most likely because they wanted to capitalize on the series' success. Understanding that the series was a massive hit, Bones took longer breaks in between seasons, from seasons 2 to 6, to ensure guaranteed quality was delivered. In comparison, Black Clover's longest break between seasons is between the only 2, seasons 1 and 2, that being 4 years and counting. So, yes, I do believe Black Clover's potential was completely thrown away. And as a very big fan of the series, it's extremely disappointing. Now, do I think that when the anime returns, people are going to be watching and talking about it? Of course I do.
Maybe.
It's still one of the most popular manga of the 2010s. Sadly, I just don't think it'll get the amount of love and press it could have gotten if the anime wasn't put on hold for nearly 5 years. This is, of course, because of the little care for proper pacing by Studio Pierrot. We know now from Bleach's Thousand Year Blood War that Pierrot can do seasonal releases very well, and that when they take their time, can deliver a product just as good as the rest of the big dime studios. However, it might be a little unfair to compare.
I don't know. I got niggas over here trying to say Bleach is trash. The Thousand Year Blood War is trash. I got niggas out here saying that, bro. It baffles me how niggas' perception of shit is really changed. And I don't know, it's weird. Because I like how Bleach is literally big 3. And niggas still sit here and try to say it's bad. Like, what? I don't know, man.
Compare Bleach and Black Clover in terms of popularity. Bleach is amongst the most popular anime manga of all time, so there must be an idea that people will watch no matter how much time is in between releases. With Black Clover, the series was new, and the studio most likely didn't know how long its popularity would last, ultimately pushing it out too fast, and then suffering for years later. But at the end of the day, who really knows? I mean, this video could absolutely blow up in my face, and the Black Clover anime could return to massive levels of success it had never even seen before. No one can actually know until it finally releases. So, what do you guys think? Was Black Clover's potential really thrown away? Do you agree with my thoughts, or do you have any other ideas that you believe are correct?
I'm not going to sit here and say that you're wrong, but I feel like another big problem is just how people see anime nowadays. It really, like, the way people see anime nowadays is really different from how they used to. Animation has to be top tier, story has to be top tier, and I feel like that really hinders a lot of animes. Like, look at Fairy Tail. People don't like Fairy Tail because of our friendship. When I literally got a video in the works saying how it's not true. Black Clover, I feel like a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh, it's a copy of Naruto, and it's not original, and ass pulls, and nah," and where that's not true either. And I feel like that's just what the general public sees and all that. So I feel like that's another thing that could really ruin it. Like, I got people saying they never watched it, or they haven't finished it, or they stopped watching it. And I'm just like, okay, but and it's never really anyone really caught up to the manga either. So it really is just like, I feel like it's just the way how people are, and I feel like you did say it that there's a hardcore fan base and the casual fan base, and I feel like there's a lot more casual fans than there are hardcore fans. And I feel like that's another issue, is because casual fans won't ever be big fans unless you really have like a hardcore fan to convert them. Because like, I don't know, this is how it works nowadays. But anyway, it was a great vid. Went over a lot of points that I didn't even think about. with the whole like manga sales and all that, and how switching studios could affect it. But I honestly think it's just how the people view the anime more. I feel like when it comes to animes and like manga and shit, I feel like the anime gets looked at way more than the manga for some reason. I don't know. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Other than that, I'm gonna get out of here. Hope you have a great day. Peace.